Star Wars Episode 9 is set to bring a final return of the character of Luke Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, we do know that this movie is very important not just to Disney and Lucasfilm, but also to us, the Star Wars community, the fans around the world, that are counting on this movie in order for it to stand out from the previous two movies, in order for it to make it feel truly special, because after all, this is the final film of the Skywalker saga. This is going to be a historical movie release, and they do have to get this right. Now, we do know that they have gone through some script adjustments and rewrites, as well as some reshoots planned for the third act of the movie. Nothing too significant, so nothing too much to worry about there. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, what's really exciting that has all to do with George Lucas, the director himself of Star Wars A New Hope and the creator of everything Star Wars, is that he has officially finished his actual sequences with the character of Luke Skywalker by directing a couple of scenes and advising J.J. Abrams on what to do for certain scenes involving the character of Luke in Episode 9. So that's all done and over with for George. Now, we do know that he actually has a little part in the film by directing some scenes and advising J.J. Abrams on how to actually use the character of Luke in either the form of a Force ghost and or in the form of a flashback vision or something around those lines. Now, what I actually think happened with George, I think he was actually lending advice to J.J. Abrams on how to handle the Force ghost version of Luke Skywalker. I think that's why George Lucas was actually on set with J.J. Now, it's described that it was a 2-day shoot, nothing too extensive, but nothing too brief either. It was most likely going to be a 3 to 5 minute sequence involving the character of Luke that was directed by George and advised by George to J.J. Abrams on how to do things when it comes to certain shot angles and acting styles for the character. Now, the thing here is this. We do know that George Lucas was lightly involved with Solo: A Star Wars Story as well, so the fact that he's also somewhat, involved in Star Wars Episode 9, it really does speak volumes to me. I think that it tells us that Disney and Lucasfilm are listening to the fans and that they actually want to really make the fans happy at this point in time. Whether or not that's genuine, I'm not quite sure. It could just be to recover from the Solo: A Star Wars Story box office results, or it could be truly genuine for the fans around the world. So, with that being said, the fact that George is indeed involved and attached to this film, I think is not only a great honor to him as a person, but to him as a creator as well. After all, very important movie, and it's a close to everything that George Lucas has created when it comes to the Skywalker bloodline and the legacy of it all. So I think that, when we look at the character of Luke, this is a very important piece of Episode 9. Whether he's just going to be in the form of a Force ghost or flashback, etc., it's still a very important piece to the actual movie itself. Luke is a huge component in the plot of Episode 9. We've heard this before. He's going to be quite the significant character. Maybe not as much as screen time goes, but as far as our characters' paths go, such as Rey and Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker will have a hand in all of this. Kind of similar to what we saw in The Force Awakens, how they were all searching for Luke and where's Luke, and kind of like transporting the Skywalker lightsaber from point A to point B. You can see how Luke's presence basically evolved the characters in The Force Awakens and brought them to new places. Same exact thing will be applied here in a different and unique way in Episode 9, aside from his appearances in the movie. So George Lucas, directing and advising J.J. Abrams on some scenes involving Skywalker. By the way, Mark Hamill is still filming to this day. I believe that now he is on day 5 or day 6, give or take, of filming Episode 9, apart from the 1 week that he actually shot, I think it was back in October of 2018. So a lot has really been wrapping up for Episode 9. A lot of things are starting to actually finish right now before they enter post-production, which is when they add in all the special effects, the music, all the different pieces, dialogue that will go over the movie. Everything is really starting to take shape here. And I'm really excited to see, the first set of footage of this movie on the big screen or, on the computer, just seeing exactly what the tone of this movie is going to be like. In case you guys haven't seen the last video, we went over the first reactions of Episode 9 that were leaked, all thanks to Star Wars Newsnet from a certain user that was actually going over how it's going to be pretty much tears of joy from one of the co-workers attached to episode 9. And that, to me, that is high praise. That really is a lot of high praise, because this movie does have a lot going for it. It is a big risk for Disney and Lucasfilm for this movie to fail, and it has been said that the future of this franchise really does depend on episode 9. And I have actually expressed this before many times in the past, that this movie, I feel, is really going to be the Revenge of the Sith of the sequel trilogy. And what I mean by that is, this movie is going to stand out and be the best of the sequel trilogy. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.